We finally got a response from Kamala Harris to Trump's latest attempt to avoid going head-to-head with her on the debate stage. So, to set the stage here, you might remember that days ago, Donald Trump came out and said this.
They say, oh, Trump's, not doing the debate. That's the same thing they'll say now. I mean, right now I say, why should I do a debate? I'm leading in the polls. And everybody knows her, everybody knows me.
Everybody knows them both already, so why even bother showing up to debate? Which, of course, never stopped Trump from debating Joe Biden, not just in June, but challenging him to yet another debate immediately thereafter.
So tonight I'm officially offering Joe the chance to redeem himself in front of the entire world. You guys can be referees if you like. Let's do another debate this week so that Sleepy Joe Biden can prove to everyone all over the world that he has what it takes to be president. But this time it will be man-to-man, no moderators, no holes barred. Just name the place, anytime, anywhere.
But, of course, it's Donald Trump we're talking about, so I don't exactly think he's too focused on ensuring that he doesn't seem hypocritical. But Kamala, for her part, seems to have no intention of giving Donald Trump a free pass despite his best efforts. Her campaign released a statement today saying, quote, Donald Trump needs to man up. He's got no problem spreading lies and hateful garbage at his rallies or in interviews with right-wing commentators, but he's apparently too scared to do it standing across the stage from the Vice President of the United States. Since he talks the talk, he should walk the walk, and, as Vice President Harris said earlier this week, say it to her face on September 10th. She'll be there waiting to see if he'll show. Let me just say, the extent to which Kamala Harris and her campaign know exactly how to get under Trump's skin cannot be overstated. Telling this guy, whose entire identity is predicated on how tough he thinks he is, that, quote, he needs to man up, is going to impact him at a fundamental core level. And of course, at this point, she's just bringing sand to the beach, considering the last week has been one humiliation for Trump after the next as the Harris campaign and the Democrats more broadly hammer away at the fact that he is utterly terrified at the prospect of being on the debate stage with her. Here, for example, is what happened at Kamala's Atlanta rally.
And so pleased to join you. And on the plane down here, Senator Warnock and I were talking about this. Don't know if y'all heard about it, but apparently Donald Trump is too scared to debate the vice president. Too scared. Now, I don't know if y'all remember this from back in 2020, but I know about having an opponent who's too scared to debate. And let me tell you, Atlanta, the candidate dodging debates is the candidate who is losing.
And look, I try not to talk in absolutes, but I can say with absolute certainty that there is quite literally nothing that Trump would hate more than a capacity arena of 10,000 people chanting the words, too scared, too scared, too scared. For someone like Donald Trump, who exists to fulfill some insatiable desire to be loved by audiences, to see a max capacity arena outright challenge his manhood, his toughness, is the one thing he truly cares about, must absolutely destroy him. Which may be why Kamala herself then added fuel to the fire at that same rally.
So the momentum in this race is shifting. And there are signs that Donald Trump is feeling it. You may have noticed. So last week, you may have seen, he pulled out of the debate in September he had previously agreed to. So here's the thing. Here's the funny thing about that. So he won't debate, but he and his running mate sure seem to have a lot to say about me. And by the way, don't you find some of their stuff to just be plain weird? consider to meet me on the debate stage. Because as the saying goes, if you've got something to say, say it to my face.
If you are looking for nightmare fuel for Trump, it's not just a 10,000 person arena chanting in unison about how he's too scared to debate Kamala, but then Kamala herself calling him out. You gotta love the poetic justice in this guy who started off his political career by launching the birther movement against the first black president, now getting utterly humiliated on a daily basis by not just a black candidate, but a black female candidate. I gotta say, it couldn't happen to a better guy than the racist misogynist that is Donald Trump. And beyond the perpetual embarrassment that is Trump's inability to go head-to-head with Kamala on the debate stage, there's also the fact that, frankly, the Republicans do not know how to run against her. Here's Jesse Waters claiming that Kamala getting elected will mean that all athletes will compete in opposite gender categories in the next Olympics.
Title IX is supposed to protect women.
Exactly. And if she is elected, they're going to have the Summer Games in LA, her home state, and she's probably going to have not only a very strange opening ceremony with a lot of transgender people, probably trying to up the Paris people. Just kidding, Jessica. That was just about a Greek tragedy. And she'll probably have all men in the women's competition. That's Kamala's America.
So first of all,
the amazing thing is
liked
that
the opening ceremony. You admitted that when we talked about it
but
earlier in the
that
book.
was an artificial stance.
Okay, it's horrible.
Here's Laura Ingraham attacking her for hugging people.
Yeah, now you get it. It's better for her to stay in her sweet spot as the hugger-in-chief.
Here's Judge Janine, of all people, claiming that Kamala Harris hasn't been sober.
her past is something that she should be embarrassed of. Her past 3.5 years in the White House has been a joke. You have to look at this woman and say, you know, is she sober
We have the
during the
tapes.
last 3.5 years? I mean, she just laughed her way through it.
Here's J.D. Vance falsely claiming that she is against the child tax credit.
One more thing I want to say on this trade, I think a lot of parents and a lot of non-parents look at our public policy over the last 4 years and ask, how did we get to this place? How did we get to a place where Kamala Harris is calling for an end to the child tax credit?
And in fact, not only does she support the child tax credit, not only did she vote for the child tax credit, but it was the Republicans just yesterday who blocked it in the Senate. If the projection was any more obvious, they would start blaming Kamala Harris for inciting insurrections at the US Capitol. So I know that you'll watch that stuff and probably feel kind of frustrated because it's all so insane, but I actually kind of love it, because it shows very clearly that they have zero clue what to do with Kamala Harris. They do not know how to run against her. I mean, hell, we've spent the last 2 days watching Trump try to claim that Kamala Harris isn't even black.
She was always of Indian heritage, and she was only promoting Indian heritage. I didn't know she was black until a number of years ago when she happened to turn black, and now she wants to be known as black. So I don't know, is she Indian or is she black?
She has always
But you know
identified
what?
as a black woman.
I
She went to a
respect
historically
either
black
one.
college.
I respect either one, but she obviously doesn't.
All of which is to say, Donald Trump is flailing, and the rest of the right-wing media ecosystem isn't doing him any favors. None of them know what they're doing, none of them know how to run against her, none of them have been able to land on anything that doesn't just backfire and make them look even more ridiculous. I mean, Laura Ingraham is literally trying to attack Kamala Harris for hugging people. Dear God, the desperation is palpable. So whether it's dodging the debate or just the overall inability to wage anything close to an effective campaign against Kamala Harris, the truth is that Trump is flailing right now. And judging by the way that things are looking, not going to get better anytime soon. I've got a really exciting announcement. I've written a book. It's called Shameless. This book explores how Republicans have exploited their historical branding while attacking our democracy, how the media has proven itself a willful participant, and how Democrats can learn from this to rebalance the political scales and save our democracy. It has been a lifelong dream of mine to write my own book, and so I'd like to ask you to pre-order it by clicking the link right here on the screen. And if you buy within this pre-order period, your book is going to come with a signed nameplate. As you know, I've never had a single sponsor on my channel. I don't ask for money or anything like that, but if you're looking for a way to support me, this is hands down the best way to do it. So again, follow the link right here on the screen, and thank you from the bottom of my heart for pre-ordering Shameless. And as always, make sure to subscribe to see more of my content.